Hello students, hi. So we know for a fact that in the last 1 week there has been a lot of events that have come into place and I want to discuss that with you all. So let's get into it. The first news that I want to share with you all or discuss is with regards to Sri Vijayapuram. Now what is this Vijayapuram? Basically, Port Blair has been renamed to Sri Vijayapuram. Now, this was recognized or this was announced by the Union Home Minister. Who is the Union Home Minister? Quickly drop in the message. I want to know how many of you know who is the current Union Home Minister. Moving on, as I told you, Port Blair was named after Archibald Blair, a British naval surveyor and the officer in the Bombay Marines. Okay, now he has played a crucial role in mapping the Andaman Nicobar or the Andaman Islands in the late 18th century. Now, this renaming of Port Blair to Sri Vijayapuram emphasizes the city's historical ties to the Chola Empire, especially with regards to Emperor Raja Rajendra I. Now, in the 11th century, Rajendra I of the Chola dynasty led the famous naval expedition against the Sri Vijaya Empire, which was based in modern Indonesia. Okay, now when I'm trying to talk about this, it is very important for us to also understand the Andaman Islands were mentioned as Ma Nakkavaram in Chola records. So the map that was there by the Chola dynasty had Andaman Islands mentioned in it with this name as Ma Nakkavaram. Now the city includes the historical cellular jail, as we all know, the Kalapani, or when it is famously said as the Kalapani ki Saza. So it was given over here, and the nearby tiny islands that called as Corbin's Cove, or the Vandur, or Ross Island, or Viper Island. Now, similarly, the Port Blair served as the Azad Hind government's headquarters from the year 1943 to 1944 under the rule or under the leadership of Subhash Chandra Bose. Similarly, if I tell you some other names, some other states or territories that have been renamed, so someone being Travancore Kochi, which was then renamed to Kerala in the year 1956. Likewise, the Union Territory of Pondicherry, which was renamed to Puducherry in the year 2006. Orissa was then renamed to Odisha in the year 2011. Now, how does this happen? Article 3 of the Indian Constitution authorizes the Parliament to establish new states, modify the boundaries of the existing state, and change their names. It is very important for you to understand this because it can be asked as a legal current affair or as a current affair, and this will then help you understand about the changes or methods via which these changes can take place in the Indian Constitution. Okay, moving on. The drugs and magic remedies objectionable, so the Drugs and Magic Remedies Objectionable Advertisements Act. Now, this act has been famous in the last month or probably in the last whole year because we have heard the Patanjali case. Now, recently, the Central Drug Standard Control Organization, which is SCO, has suspended a pharmaceutical company's permission to manufacture and market eye drops for presbyopia. Now, what is this? Basically, a kind of so when you need reading aid, so you can probably a spectacle when you need that with age. Okay, I'm talking about that. So this company ENTOD Pharmaceuticals has claimed that its eye drops could eliminate the need of reading classes in patients with presbyopia. A claim cannot be authorized by CDSCO. Now, why is this? It intervened to prevent the public from being misled, citing the concerns of public interest. Now, when we try to say this, the pilocarpine, it is not a new drug. Okay, it has been used by the ophthalmology to treat glaucoma but fell out of favor due to its side effect, and it was replaced by better alternatives. So it is not that the drug that they have been mentioning, it is very new in nature. It has been there for quite some time. Now, when we try to talk about the Drugs and Magic Remedies Act, it was enacted by the Parliament to control the advertisement of drugs and remedies, and particularly those claiming to have magical properties to it. Now, this advertising of such is a cognizable offense under the law. What is a cognizable offense? Again, I would want you to drop it in the comment section so that I can read about it. Let me see how many of you know. Now, talking about the magic remedy, it includes any talisman, mantra, amulet, amulet and other object claimed to have miraculous powers to cure, prevent or diagnose diseases. Similarly, this also extends to devices that have said to influence the structure or functions of humans or animal organs. Now, when I try to talk about this, the drugs and magic remedies objectionable advertisement rules of 1955 were enacted to ensure the effective implementation of this act. It is very important for you to understand. Similarly, try to see what are the objectionable advertisements, or what under which what are you not allowed to be to have an advertisement of. Similarly, what claims can you not put in. So try to have a in-depth understanding about this. Now, coming to the next news, one nation, one election. Now, this refers to polls conducted simultaneously for Lok Sabha and the state assemblies. Now, this concept is to basically the intention here is to streamline the voting process and reduce the several electoral cycles that India currently experiences. Now, talking about this, the committee recommended that simultaneous elections will be held throughout the country. Simultaneous elections will promote stability and predictability in the governance by reducing disruption and policy paralysis. It will also decrease the cost and increase voter engagement. Now, talking about this, the committee suggested simultaneous holding elections into two phases. Phase 1 will be Lok Sabha and state assembly elections, and phase 2 will be local body elections held within 100 days of the first phase. This is how the whole plan of one nation, one election is. I would want you all to go in depth about this as well. Coming to the next news for today. Trishna, what is this? It is an Indo-French satellite which is expected to be launched in the year 2026. The Trishna mission was first announced during bilateral talks between India and France in the year July 2023. Now, it is slated for the launch in the year 2026 aboard a Polar Satellite Vehicle, which is also called as PSLV. Now, I have told you in multiple sessions with regards to PSLV and GSLV, and specifically with regards to India and its multiple missions with regards to space. You must go through it in depth. Now, this is from the Satish Dhawan Space Center. This mission follows the successful Indo-French collaboration on the Megatropics and the Saral satellites, marking another significant milestone in space cooperation between the two countries. Now, talking about this, the satellites with Argos and Altica Saral is a joint Indo-French satellite mission for oceanographic studies. Saral performs altimetric measurements designed to study ocean circulation and sea surface elevation. So please have a look at all of these things. Coming to the last part of the session, I've told this to you at multiple fronts. Memory has its own memory. Try to jot down the important pointers, go in depth about these news, and keep yourself prepared for the upcoming examination. I'll see you all in the next video. Till then, bye bye, take care, and all the best.